it feels good to sit down.
All right.
Thank you.
Don't worry, everybody just seen 5 seconds of your son beating me up.
Okay.
I know, right? That's assault. You're fired.
You can't fire me. I'm your child.
You're fired.
You don't get an allowance anymore.
You don't get an allowance either. It's more like a slave.
I mean, that's what kids are.
Go do this.
All right, we're sitting down with Turbo John after his first round victory here at Dig or Die East versus the West. How was it? How was the pass?
It was good. We were supposed to do this earlier in the day.
It worked out well
Right.
because it's cooler now.
No, that's right. It would be blazing hot, right?
Mine and Robert's fees, nobody cared about anybody else other than you.
Oh,
So at the end of it, I got to go on Robert's feed and be
Right.
like, hey, we're having an interview.
that's hilarious. That's funny. That's awesome,
So-
man. Well, and that's what we stuck our hand in the pot and got the chip, and we were the 54th pair. So that was the last pair, and then we had Colt Coffee that got the bye, so he was the last one behind
Yep.
us, and it was well needed because I had a punch list of things I needed to do. So when you got here, I was frantically working on the car.
Yep.
And so what had happened was, last week at Roxborough, of course, we had an oxygen sensor issue. I ordered an oxygen sensor on Sunday. It shows up on Thursday, just because it takes a little time to get stuff now.
Yep.
And so we got the oxygen sensor, luckily, before I left the house. And so we showed up down here, and so today I needed to change the oxygen sensor. It's easy peasy. One of the easiest things on the car. Change.
It's a plug and a
It's a
nut,
plug in,
essentially.
and you just
Yeah.
pull it out. It's easy access. So we changed it, and oxygen sensor still didn't work.
Yep. When I
It's-
came by earlier to see if you was ready, you had a whole team over here working on it.
We were trying to repin it. It's the same thing that we had the problem with Randy's a few weeks ago. Basically, we think the output for the heater or something from the Dominator is a problem. Something's the matter with it.
Do you think it's like a new version up? Is there a new version update?
I have heard that there are some, but or as far as sometimes firmware jacks
Uh-huh.
stuff up. But I mean, it was working, and then all of a sudden it wasn't working. And then it's kind of funny, it's intermittent. So we ohmed everything out. We still don't know what the problem is. So we had to put it in open loop. So anybody that saw that video, it took 12 seconds to spool up. And so
I knew it was taking a while.
I
I'm
had it-
like,
I had
it
it
doesn't
to the-
sound right.
I had it to the floor, and I was like, "Come on, baby!" I was like, Ziffer was starting to get kind of. I could tell he was about to time me out, and but luckily, I was racing a nitrous car, and it was all good.
Yep.
So car run good. It run fast. It was not like personal best fast, but for the first lick, I probably could have turned it up, and it probably would have tucked it. It probably would have went faster.
Now, do you still have all the weight in it from your video the other day?
I do. It is 3,514 pounds right now, and that's the heaviest the car has ever been. And
That's
so
heavier than your old car, wasn't it?
it is. The old car, I think we got out at like 3,400, and it's one of those things we're chasing bias numbers,
Yep.
and trying to make it work right. Now it did do a little teeny wheelie out there right then too.
Did it?
That was my first time ever popping the wheel up out there.
I was behind the car, so I was standing right next to Milton.
Yeah, Randy's or Milton's. Somebody, I think it was Randy's video. You can see it pops up and then comes back down. But it was a nice, smooth acceleration. We also changed glue this year. This race, we're trying it out. We're trying the Rocket brand.
Okay.
And so
The
that
Blue
was
Collar Brew?
Yeah, the Blue Collar Brew. Happy's real good friends with him, and so he hit us. Happy hit him up, and he was like, "Man, just try it out, see if you like it." And there's a concoction. So we talked to him today, and he was like, "Okay, well, you use the blue for this, you use the black for this, you use
Oh,
the
I didn't know
red
they
for
had
this."
different ones.
Yeah, so I've got like 3 different things for tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
So hopefully I can remember it. We may be calling him back tomorrow. But that time, man, the car dead hook, didn't do nothing stupid.
No, it left good.
It
was
went
clean.
almost personal best to the 60 foot. And so the extra weight though slowed it down a little bit on the dig, but we still had a very strong mile per hour. So I mean it's a good first pass for me.
Now, with battling weight, does Richard still have that other motor that you showed a couple months ago.
He does. I'm waiting for him to get the sleeves in it. I mean, he's a one-man show, so it just takes a little while to get stuff done. From time to time. And
I felt bad because I hounded him about getting my stuff done, and then as soon as he was like, "Hey, you come pick it up," it was stuff happened one after the other, and I'm like, I don't have the money anymore.
I'm hoping that he'll get it to me soon. We pulled the valve covers off of it today, and when we were bumping through checking the valves,
I seen you said there was some bubbling.
Yeah, Happy was like, there's bubbles coming up from the stud. He's like, I think you've got a nicked head gasket, and we do. With these head gaskets, this motor's been together for 2 years. So
has it been that long?
Yeah. It's a year and a half. When it gets to December, it'll be 2 years. So last year, when we put it together, we put a new set of rods in it. I had used rods in it.
Yep.
And so I run them one season, took them out. They did not ventilate themselves. So, that was a good thing. We got those out before they decided to exit themselves. And so we took and put new rods in it, new bearings, mains and rods. And rings were not available. So, because I got off-the-shelf CP bullet pistons, and they were just not available because they're a funky size. And so the options were at that time, we can try to get a special custom order ring that was going to take a long period of time, or we could get Richard to, modify the ring groove, the actual depth and the radial width. And so that was an option. But the problem is that piston was designed for that amount of ring to cut out. And so what I was afraid of, if he cut it out, made it a little bit wider, a little bit deeper, now we're going to compromise the integrity of the piston. So we put it back together with used rings. And so those rings were 1 year old. So now we're on the 3rd season of the rings. We made 140 passes last year.
I know your whole idea is budget. You're a budget racer.
That's right.
You gotta watch some of the corners.
Yeah, no, you do, and it's you have to kind of, you can't cut every corner. There are some things you can kind of get away with, but then other things you cut the corner, it's gonna bite you in the butt. So I'm there. I mean, the motor is getting tired. The ring seal. Which the reality is, this is a motor that I got from Brian like 7 years ago. It's been 4.165 bore for 7 years. And so we have honed it with the Barry hone a lot. So it probably needs about a 4.170 probably piston, really, on 4 cylinders. The other 4 cylinders have got sleeves from where we had rods ventilate. So, we're slowly putting sleeves in the whole motor. But the new motor is a 4.125 bore. So we got some decisions we got to make. Those pistons actually are not in terrible shape. I mean, but they're legit like, no, they're not 7 years old. The pistons are not, because the pistons are, we changed strokes about 3 years ago. So the pistons are 3 or 4 years old.
That's right, because you're running a D-stroke.
That's right. It's a 3.34 stroke. Instead, it's a NASCAR crankshaft. So instead of having, a overstroke, so 3.75 or a 4-inch stroke, I mean, the cubic inches on the car is tiny, man. That's only 364 cubic inches. So, I mean, that's, we struggle a little bit with spooling sometimes anyway. But at the end of the night, so like when we go rounds, like when we're doing a front of the track no prep, at the end of the night, it is not it sounds like it hardly has any compression. I mean, it's like, no, it spins over the fastest you've ever heard it spin over. And it's because, a couple things, I don't run water in the block, so of course everything spans a little bit more down there. But also the rings are tired. I mean, the rings are, they're old and they're just tired. So I mean, it just is what it is, what can you do?
How long have you been racing?
I've been racing. I am 47 years old. I got my first car when I was 16. So whatever that math equates to, 31 years.
I'm about to make you feel old.
I am old. 47.
I'll be 32 on Sunday.
Look, I'm almost that guy. I've been racing since you was in diapers. I am that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's crazy. I started out, my first car was a Trans Am. My dad bought it. It had a 305 in it. We took it to Charlie Taylor in Lumberton, put a 350 in it with some tubular headers and an RV camshaft.
One of them three-quarter cams?
No, it was an RV. He didn't want to put a 3/4 in it. I asked for a 3/4. He said, no, you need an RV camshaft. And I don't know what it did. It sounded good and it run okay. But very quickly, I started tearing stuff up. My dad didn't know I was racing, so he had no idea. He wasn't mechanically inclined. I wasn't mechanically inclined, and so we started breaking stuff. And so he would pay for it a little bit, and then soon he realized kind of what was happening. He was like, "It's kind of odd you keep tearing this thing up." And then I had to learn how to work on it, and that's how I started working on my stuff.
I think that's how everybody kind of starts.
Yeah, I mean,
Mom and Dad get tired of paying for it, and they're
That's
like,
right.
"Hey, you tore it up, you fixed it."
I think I paid for one. I think I paid for one thing to happen. I don't even remember what it was, and it was like $300 or $400, and that was like in the early '90s. And I mean, I was working a part-time job. I was in school. I mean, that was like weeks of paychecks. So I mean, it just I was like, okay, if he can do it, I can do it. So let's learn how to do it. That's what we did.
Now, trying to word this properly.
Right.
I know you got a lot of time and a lot of effort into this car.
Right.
I know you got a lot of time and a lot of effort into the old car.
Right.
I know a lot of people are biased on which car they like better.
Right.
Which one do you prefer?
So this one's starting to grow on me. The old car. So I bought the old car. So I snookered my wife in. So I got out of racing, sold all my stuff. You know how sometimes you sell everything and then you start over.
Yeah.
So back in 2007, that was where I was at. I had sold a twin turbo Mustang. I was just kind of tired of messing with it, throwing in the towel. Like I need to just take a little break and regroup and do something different. And so I sold that. I met her, and then about a couple months after I met her, I found the other Mustang, and then I started that process building it. So I've had that other car forever. So I mean, from 2007 to now, I mean Nick's got it now, but I'll be getting it back soon. I mean he's almost done with his new car. So
I was hoping to see him tonight.
Yeah, I was hoping he was going to make it too.
We were going to ride down and help him last weekend,
Right.
and we ended up going to Mooresville for Robert's race.
Right. But the nostalgia of the old car, I mean, and that's what I've had this car in the build process for about 2 years, and we almost made it last year to the point where we could have made it, but I just didn't want to step out of the other car. My other car was comfortable. I knew how, even though it was swirly and it was all skatey and it was, it was challenging to drive, but I knew what it was going to do. We could unload that car anywhere, look at the surface, and go, all right, we can go this or we can go that. And most of the time, we were able to hit the number pretty close. And so when we took this thing out at Darlington, man, I was scared. We barely got it done. I didn't even make a test pass on the street. We drove it to make sure it was lined up properly. That was driving it to tech.
Oh yeah.
And so I was scared,
that.
man. I was nervous, but I'm getting more comfortable. The four-link behaves a lot better than the stock suspension, which of course
Don't tell me that. I didn't back half my car.
which we were having issues too, though. I mean, we found some tore stuff. Without the stuff being torn, probably they're reasonably the same. But the thing that I like about the four-link is it's easy to change it. I can legit jack the car up, drop the rear end down, let it hang in the shop, and then take the wheels off of it, and I can just make a change. And I guess some people in the stock suspension world can do that too, but it seems more easier.
You got more room.
But yeah, that's right. It's easier to work on. It's got a lot more room. You're not tight. You're not cramped up. All those self-tappers aren't ripping my hands apart. I mean, 'cause the old car was self-tappered to death.
Well, I mean, you got wire nuts on this one.
No, I do. I made sure to keep those. Those are for Devin Vanderhoof.
Those, they hurt me.
On the TPS too. Look, although honestly tomorrow there's a very good chance that to make this thing work like I'm gonna need it to work tomorrow, I'm gonna have to wire a whole nother oxygen sensor in. Like that's gonna really get Devin pretty good, isn't it?
Well, he didn't wire your car, so
Yeah, I know, but still, I mean, it just hurts him. He's one of my buddies. So.
he's gonna tell Randy not to bring his car back.
I'll send him a picture of the wire nuts on the oxygen sensor. He'll just go. Delete.
Speaking of Devin, I know you're into all sorts of. You breaking my
I was
chairs?
gonna say this one's a little different than that.
No.
All right, go ahead.
You rolled the end of it.
How did that happen?
Oh, you getting nervous, man. You moving
I
around.
know, right?
Oh. Devin's holding a Dragon drive.
Right.
Have you ever had any interest in doing something like that?
I have. My old car, I'm actually contemplating cutting the funny car cage out and making it a drag and drive car that'll be 8 pp and slower. So here's the deal with driving stuff on the street with cages. And even the 10-point cage scares me a little bit. I used to drive that car on the street all the time. It was on E85, blow-through carburetor. I drove it everywhere. I would drive it. Chase was a baby. He was an infant. We would get Chase in bed, and when he went to sleep, so somewhere between 6 o'clock and 7:30, I would back the race car out, the Mustang, the old Mustang, and I would drive it to Galot, which then was Dunn Benson, and then I would race it, and then I would drive it home. And no doubt, I mean, so the car's got a lot of sentimental value, but that was before it had a funny car cage. It just had a normal 10-point
Yep.
cage in it. And it was fast. It ran like 540s, 570s driving it down there. No,
And that's
560s,
still-
550s,
that's still reasonably fast
and
for
this
a
was
street car now.
And this was 2009, and I wouldn't even change tires. I had the Radial Pros on it, you know, the ones that the X275s. I would drive it down there, let it cool off, and then I'd make a couple passes in the 560, 570 range, and then I would drive it home. And most of the time, I planned it good so that I could stop at Carly C's and get E85. Couple nights, they run out of E85. I put 93 in it, and I barely made it back home because I had carburetors, so I couldn't change the jets. I could change the jets beside the road, but I just chose not to. I would just kill it. But so, you know, there's a lot of value in that. But the thing that happened, I was driving it all the time on the road. Chase was, like I said, young, 1 or 2 years old, and there was a cat up at MIR or New England or somewhere, one of the drag strips up north. It was a street strip car, had a 10-point cage in it. He pulled out of the drag strip, got T-boned, and he died instantly because his head hit the roll cage. And so, honestly, when that happened, I had just got married, and a young son, and I was like, my head, I remember sitting in the car in the driveway and going, if I get T-boned or if something happens and I crash this, am I going to hit this bar beside my head? And the answer was yes, and it was going to smack me right above my ear. And I was like, okay, let's drop the seat. The seat was all the way down as far as it could go. I was like, I'm done. And that's when I took the tags off of it, turned the tags in, and started just race car. So that if I'm doing something crazy in it, I've got on a helmet.
Yeah.
And I know there's people that don't think about that, and there's people, I used to not think about it. And then there's people that say, oh, we'll just put roll bar padding on it, and then you're fine. Probably true, that's probably okay, but it's still, I mean, in a normal car, you don't have, it just scared me. So I want to do drag and drive, but I'm scared of drag and drive at the same time. You see people with they're full funny car and they don't have.
Nick and them,
Yeah.
TV.
And they kind of think they get a little bit of roll bar pads, but I don't have any pads on that one at all. I mean, and you're just not strapped in. I mean, I guess I could do a drag and drive. I could get some good footage with me with my helmet on all day. I mean,
Talk about hot.
that would be hot, wouldn't it? I would love to do drag and drive. I don't know if it'll ever happen. If it does happen, it'll be with a car at 850 and slower, and I'll make sure that I have enough protection on the roll bars that I don't have to worry about that. And I probably don't have to worry about it anyway, but I mean, it's just
That's a
Well,
discussion.
and here I am out here, no prep racing, racing on junk, but still, it's just, I don't know, it just sketches me out.
You want to race on the street?
I do not go on the street. The street's a little sketchy. There's a lot to lose on the street. If I have an accident here and wreck and kill somebody, it's an accident. And it's it's an accident. If you have an accident, you lose control in the burnout or wreck it on the street and you kill somebody, you're going to jail.
It was, 5 or 6 years ago that happened out our way.
Pine Tops.
Yep.
They were just
They were standing on the big end.
Sunday racing. They've done it for years.
Yep.
They lost control, veered off the road. They're both in jail.
Yep.
I mean, that ain't gonna be me. I ain't doing it. It's too risky. There's too much to lose. It's just, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, people that do it. I love watching it. I'll watch videos all day, but I can't participate.
There might actually be something happening later on.
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, that's what the pregame happened last night, and it looked like it wasn't quite as crowded as normal, so that's good.
But they tried to keep it
Gotta keep it secret,
low key,
right?
Yeah.
Because that's when you get a ton of people involved, it gets sketchy, and because there's no organization as far as, people are everywhere, and
Yeah.
it's just hard to. It's
The
just too
last
dangerous.
digger die, we went out that night and
It's probably 1,000 or 2,000.
yeah,
people there.
everybody from the track followed everybody out there, and it was 4 people in pitch black trying to keep everybody behind
can't
the
do it.
cars, and the cop showed up. The cop was nice.
Right.
He let us continue, but he said if you drove back by and people were in front of the starting line,
So,
everybody was getting the
right.
tickets. It was like,
And
I
that
can't stop y'all from doing it. If I make y'all leave, y'all just can't do it somewhere else.
and we went
But-
down and we went down there. We actually rode down there.
You did. Yeah, I
And
remember that.
We rode down there and we were there early, and then the racers started getting there, and I was like, and then the crowd started coming, and I told them, I was like, dude, I'm done. I was like, I'm going back to the motorhome. I'm going back to sleep.
That and it was already what, 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it was already late,
Been
and it was.
sitting in the heat all day.
Yeah, I was like, this is not going to work out. And I mean, in Darlington, I mean, that's what they got busted down there, and everybody got tickets, even the
Yep.
spectators. I didn't realize the spectators got tickets too. That's what I heard today. They were street racing, went to a different spot, and everybody got the ticket. It didn't.
Yep.
If you were there, you got a ticket.
Some of the media people were there. And
Right. And I mean, that's what
They were like, you'll never guess what happened last night.
two points on your driver's license and like $100 fine. I mean, it's just crazy, man. I was just, and I know the no prep has got its roots in the street. We used to street race all the time when I was young, but it was different. And the way it was different back then is we would drive our street cars to the spot, and then it would just be us 3 or 4. We would race, and then we would leave.
There wouldn't be 50, 60 people.
You would,
or
yeah,
more.
and you wouldn't have 20 cars doing a shootout on the street.
A lot of that discovery kind of.
They probably did. That's right. I mean, and that was, that's unfortunate because, I mean, that stuff, I know they probably did that stuff in the past. Limpy, they street race all the time still. And, and they have some good organization. They try to make it run as smooth as you can. But, and there's some crazy stuff like the no trailer one where they have to go to different
Oh,
spots.
I love watching them.
Dude, I love watching it, but I just can't
The
participate.
660 guys.
Yeah, it's just
no trailer.
crazy stuff though, man. And that's the type of racing that we used to do. You drive the vehicle there, you race, and then you leave. And so that's the kind of the premise of that. The drag. I mean, you're driving it, you can't trailer it.
Yeah.
So as soon as you make a pass, then you cut out and go to the next one. So I mean, it's just crazy though, man. And the cops earlier today. I mean, when I got here, I had to go back home this morning to get some stuff, and we forgot our clothes. And like legit, I didn't even think about you coming. Which I mean, you
I
couldn't
didn't leave the house until like 12 o'clock.
I walked into the motorhome last night. Kelly was like, "What'd you do with our clothes?" I was like, "You grabbed the clothes," and she was like, "I didn't grab the clothes." And so she turns on the camera and she goes, "The clothes are in the house." And I was like, "Okay, well." So I got up this morning, drove back home. But when I got back, they were out 4 or 5 people out there on the road making some hits. And then
When I come in, I got here at 2:30.
right,
I turned down the side road, and I made it 100 foot down the road. Pulled
Perfect.
over and got the camera out because there was people making hits.
and that's what.
And I text Krista, I'm like, I didn't even make it to the track, and I'm already taking pictures.
Right. And so we hung out here for a little while. Then I saw somebody post. Apparently, a couple state troopers posted up on the outsides on both sides.
Well, see, what happened was
Stop.
a couple people would make a hit, and then they would circle around and come back in this way instead of going down and turning around.
Oh, gotcha.
So, and then, I mean, that's a major highway.
No, that's right.
It is a 4-lane major highway. There's always troopers or sheriffs up and down it. So, I mean,
The people that do it on the street got more courage than I have. I just can't. I mean, I can't. Even doing out there on the street making a hit, Which also, I mean, it's just I don't know. I mean, I don't know that it's the same good data out there as over here.
now look, I remember the old videos of you in the drift car
Look, it's
out,
down again.
out there at Brian's house.
Yeah,
doing
that was
donuts
fun.
and
That was
stuff.
in Mexico. But yeah, that was a big intersection.
It is a big.
But yeah, doing donuts. I mean, there again, that's a
It's also in the middle of nowhere.
That's also a careless and reckless, though. If a freaking cop would have come around the corner when I was doing that, I mean, it'd have been bad. I'd have been like,
What happened to that anyway?
the drift car? I didn't have time to go drifting.
Did you sell it?
I sold it.
Okay.
Yeah, I sold it for like $1,000. I mean, I had paid like $1,200 for it. But, I do have to
Block.
It sounds good, but it is so loud.
It's from New York. It's an all-motor nitrous.
That thing is so loud.
It's Mike or Michael.
Right.
Sofina.
It
I'm
is-
friends with him on Facebook, but
It is loud as all get
it
out.
is.
But yeah, it's fun, man. You know, I'm glad the no prep. It's weird how racing evolves for different people. Like we got radials back in like 2010-ish,
They're only that.
2009 is kind of when it started, and then
Wow.
yeah. So 2008, 2009, no 2010, radial racing kind of started taking off.
I graduated high school.
Right, that's right. That's when we started radial racing. And so you went from slicks to radials, and the feel of a radial, the stability of a radial is so nice because they just take off.
Yeah.
And then as we started making more power, you started depending more on track prep. So you can't race in the sun, you gotta wait for daytime to go away so the
You
track
can't race
can
when it's
cool
extremely
down.
cold.
That's right. You got
We went to Bradenton for U.S. Street National.
Right.
They canceled it because it was
Too
like
cold.
40 degrees.
Right. So radials are fast. They're more stable, but the conditions have to be better, especially with the amount of power people are making now.
Yeah, some of them has got to be perfect.
So 2 years ago, when I realized, so I had a hard decision to make because I was radial racing with my car, but we talked about budget earlier. I always try to do the most I can do with as little money spent. And so being a budget racer is hard, you know.
For the first year of your channel,
Right.
you were back and forth.
Right. And so, and I quickly realized that the radial stuff it was progressing way faster than what my pocket could take me.
Hey, people still get nervous when they
Right.
hear Turbo John's coming.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know why. I mean, we got a pretty decent winning streak and we do okay, but you know, it's just, I mean, we're just racers out here having fun. We go out first round, it doesn't matter. I mean, we would anytime we can win money to help fund our gas and our entry, that's nice. That's a
Do
positive.
apartment on wheels?
Yeah, I'm about splitting and making it so that everybody gets a little bit of money, and then that way, I mean, it's just, it helps. But, I mean, radial racing was progressing, and I was putting slicks. And so I told Brian and all the guys, I was like, look, I'm going to go no prep racing with my car. Everybody's like, you're stupid. What are you thinking? And I was like, man, I got to do it. I just can't keep up with the radials. I understand that. I know that I'm out without spending a lot of money. And I was like, so we're going to go radial racing. I was like, we're going to go no prep racing on radials. I was like, oh. And so we showed up to 710, and I had the Hoosier Pro Bracket radial. And the thing was a rocket, and it was stable, and it was fast, but it was a nice, smooth asphalt. And so once we got to real no prep, it's kind of no prep. It was no prep,
Like
but
a front side.
it was
kinda
yeah,
no prep.
it was more front side. Even though it was backside, it was still good enough to go fast. And so once we started getting on this stuff, and actually my first time on slicks was here at Rockingham on the front side, and I was scared to death, man. I was like, here I am, and I know the slicks swash around. I remember it so well. You know, they move, and the radials. If you're on a radial and you're going straight and you feel it move, you let off because it's spinning. On a slick, that movement, you have to fight through it. And I made my first pass and it washed around a little bit, but the car it handled okay. It was taking my input. And then I was like, okay, well, it's working out okay. And then we hadn't really looked back from slicks at that point. The thing I really miss about radials is the longevity. I mean, slicks, you don't get near the passes on it. A radial, you can run a whole season.
How long does a set of tires last you?
10 to 15 passes is it.
How easier to get your hands on right now?
Well, they're more challenging now. So I have, right now at my house, normally what you do is you buy new ones, and they've gone up significantly. They were only $450, you know, a year or two ago, and now they're $600. And so, but what I would do is I would get them, I'd run them 15 passes or so, pull them off, sell them for half of what I paid for them, and then buy a new set. And then when you do that math, I mean, essentially you spend, every pass is like $10 or $15, $20 for slicks. Now, luckily I'm not a nitrous racer because they have to take in the nitrous and plugs and all that. That's the reason I'm turbocharged with methanol, is because that's the cheapest combination to run.
Didn't you just change your plugs last weekend?
I did.
For the first time
in a while. And that's funny because if you look at my previous YouTube channel, like when I started it, I was like, you gotta change plugs all the time. And I used to when I was blow through. It was a little more critical, and then when I switched to EFI, I was able to fine tune the tune a little bit, so I didn't have to do it as often. And now I'm one of those doggone EFI guys that never change plugs. I'm like, let's change plugs when it starts misfiring. That's not what you should be doing. That's not the way to properly
You
do it.
get one seized in there one day.
I know, right? Yeah. I mean, that's why they look pretty bad when I pulled them out. But, you know, it's just one of those things, man. Racing's constantly evolving. Now we're on the no prep kick. The radio
There's
stuff.
a race every weekend.
You can race every weekend. The only problem with no prep racing is you're generally racing for the racer's money. So, I mean, you know, if you have...
That's a big problem with drag racing in general.
Well,
right
and
now.
that's you have, but the buy-ins are very expensive on no prep. Like this weekend is $500 buy-in, but the purse is huge because we got 100 cars here, 111 cars, $60,000 purse. But you know, same thing. Like you said, you can race every weekend, so everybody can't race every weekend.
No.
But so you go to a race and there's $300 buy-in or $200 buy-in, and 10 cars show up. You're still racing for $2,000 to $3,000.
But a lot of people don't realize that it costs $1,000 just to go racing.
That's right. This weekend, my motorhome, my new Dust motorhome, it gets 6 miles to the gallon. And, you know, from our house to here is a little bit over 100 miles. So when you do that math, I mean, $500 entry fee, the fuel to get down here, the methanol in here, you know, I had to put a new wideband
Yeah.
up. I mean, it's it costs. I mean,
Plus the food.
that's right.
and
It's $1,000.
water. It's 100 degrees out here.
$1,200 minimum to go racing for a weekend, and that's why, you know, that's the reason I like to split back a lot, because if you get, I mean, if it's $1,200, if it's $1,000 to come race, and then you've got a pot to where you can get $400, $500, $600 of that money back, even if you don't win, then you're able to race the next weekend.
Yeah.
And so you can race more. It helps. There's some people that don't. They think they want. I mean, they say if they don't win it all, they don't want no money. I wish I had that luxury. I don't have that luxury. So that's why I'm always the one that I'm like, hey guys, y'all want to split at 8? I mean, hey, you want to split at 4?
I've heard that a couple of times.
Hey, you want to split it? I mean, I'm
John's in
constantly
the
asked.
top 8. He's gonna ask to split the pot.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of like, why not?
And
Like,
there's a lot of
It's not $1,000 you're splitting. It's $50,000 you're splitting.
and you don't have to pay everybody back deep. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe you give them their entry fee back, and that giving them their entry fee back. I mean, because you know, at some point, the big hitters, the big dogs that are winning the most, they're not going to be that any longer.
Yep.
But what's gotten to change in the mindset is everybody's got to catch up to them. And so once that happens, and then okay, well, you don't have the same people winning all the time, then that's when the splits probably will start happening a little bit more. I would think. I don't know. I mean, but you know, it's everybody. It's up to the promoter too. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, the promoter, if they're going to do a winner take all, then I mean, it's a winner take all unless everybody agrees to
Because I think
split.
most of the time all the drivers come together.
Right. So I mean, but you know, I get it. I mean, but there again, what we were just talking about, racing's expensive. So I mean, when people spend $30,000 on a motor, and they know that, hey man, I've got a very likely chance to take all this money,
Yep.
then I mean, I get that side of it too, you know. But I've split with people. People tell me I'm stupid all the time. I have somebody covered by a second. I know they're covered by a second, and I still split. I mean, you do like, I mean, a 80-20 or 75-25. But that's just me. I mean, I guess I could have a nickname, Splitting Turbo John. Want to split? That'd be a good sticker, wouldn't it? Put that on the car.
Let's not name it Splitting Turbo
Let's split.
John.
Yeah, no, right. Splitting Turbo. Yeah, no, yeah. But yeah, man, it's fun. We had a good time
Yeah, fine,
tonight.
John.
I'm glad we got the win.
Yep.
We'll see how it goes tomorrow. That's what I was telling him earlier. I was like, the thing I'm most excited about is I don't have to pay $200 or $300 to buy back in to race tomorrow. I mean, you know, I mean, I
No
think
first round ducks today.
no first round ducks. No, I don't have it on. I had it on earlier. I had it on. This is like shirt number 3 today.
I think everybody's switched
Oh my
shirts at
goodness,
least once.
dude, it's brutal. It was brutal. And tomorrow's gonna be rougher.
I'm hoping they push it back a little bit.
I don't think they will.
It-
They got a lot. They
the
got a lot of
track is
classes.
gonna be so hot.
Yep.
You might not even have to do a burnout.
That right there is what makes it no prep interesting. Is because now your hitters that have all, they still got data and they got a
Oh.
better chance. But
You
they,
got,
I
luckily
got,
you were in the bag,
right,
so you got to watch everybody. They had some people that was rolling.
right. Oh yeah. So
Like-
it's tomorrow's going to be interesting. A lot of racing. I think they said first round is at 12, starting with small tire. Second round
Yep.
And then right behind that will be Second Chance, and then Big Tire right after that. I'm probably going to leave my tune-up that I've got in it since it went down pretty good, because it is going to be
It was
greasy.
a clean pass.
It's going to be greasy tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
And so it is what it is. We're ready to go racing tomorrow. Well, we're not ready. I got to work on it tonight and tomorrow.
Any sponsors, anything like that you'd like to shout out?
Yeah, man, we got a bunch of people that help us with the program. The most recent ones, the Brakeman, TBM, we hooked up with them, linked up with them. Their front brakes are awesome. Jeff with TRS, those long travel front struts are just. I don't know how.
Jeff, if you're seeing this, I need a set of those.
I don't know how. I don't know how it looked from the back, but from the inside the car, it felt like it was wheeling the whole track. I was like, I can't see. Jose does all my turbo stuff, forced inductions. Little John, Foolproof Performance, he does all my camshaft neat stuff. Any of my hold on, let me silence this.
How unprofessional.
I know, right? Hold on. Oh, they're drawing? Are they drawing? What? Oh, I missed it. I thought y'all said it was tomorrow.
Nope.
I told you they had a crowd down there.
Okay, you drew for me?
I did.
We didn't draw each other, did we?
Nope.
Yeah.
You
That's
drew
it.
out of the same bucket?
That's it. No.
Oh, yeah.
I had
Well,
Cashton draw.
You can
first
crouch
for
in
him.
here. We're live right now.
Yeah, we're live. That's fine. This is Houston. Y'all go check out his YouTube channel also.
Yep. 20 left. You got Jacob Mitchell.
Okay, I don't know what
Black,
that is.
black Fox body
With the white
front
front
bumper,
end.
Turbo LS.
Okay.
They're from like Jersey or something like that.
West Virginia, but the eastern
Is it?
Panhandle.
Oh, okay.
Like up around
I knew
the
they were
Maryland,
northern.
Inwood, Hedgesville, that area. I don't know exactly. I
He
think
made a
it's
pretty
Inwood.
decent pass earlier.
It's
Okay.
fast. It's definitely fast. I got 24 against Manny Bajinga.
Woo! Is that the Pro Charge car?
Yes.
Oh,
The black
boy.
one with the zoomies.
Yeah.
Is it?
They said it was. It said it flashed the converter like 8,000 RPM and just. Blah! You ain't gonna be able to hear yourself.
No, that car is ridiculously
Okay.
loud.
Hold on a second. Is that an iPhone?
It is. You want me to
Yeah, just
drop it?
Yeah, just airdrop it.
Don't airdrop it to mine.
Turbo down. Airdrop. Yeah. Turbo down. Right here. Yep.
Are you Facebook surveillance van?
Yes. FBI surveillance.
Oh.
FBI, I couldn't see.
I did that because
Alright, I got it.
program them in a
Look good.
radios
Hold
at
on,
work.
I'll show you in a minute.
Okay.
I'll show you in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all go check out Houston's webpage or his YouTube also, Houston KO TV.
Appreciate
We
it.
linked up this weekend. Me and him are teammates this weekend. So we're sharing data, trying to make both of us faster. It's one of those things. I firmly believe that multi-cars is
Oh yeah, you gotta.
is a chance to do better. That was Randy that was calling a minute ago too. So I'm about to go.
You're just coming off a win too, aren't you, Houston?
Yes, sir.
You won
So-
last weekend up in Virginia, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
So he won this round too. So that's awesome. That was a good pass right there.
Yes, sir.
That was not
Yeah,
bad.
just make sure y'all draw out of the same bucket.
One of the faster. We didn't draw each other for the next round,
Yeah.
so we're at least past the second round. That's a good pass. I need to get there.
That's not bad.
That's real good.
That is not bad.
That's real good.
We're still having wideband issues.
I could tell a little bit on starting line.
12 seconds to spool. So I'm gonna try to. We're gonna figure out how to get the other wideband. I've got another wideband.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna have to cut the plug off of it and just wire it.
How did your transmission like 12 seconds of school time?
I do not have a temperature gauge on it, so it was fine.
It's one of those can't see it, can't worry about it.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind.
It was only at 2,400 RPM though, so it probably wasn't that bad.
I'm there too.
I mean-
I have no temperature
Yeah.
gauge on that. So
I mean, it's just one of those
best to
things.
not know.
Yeah, it was just up there, and
When
I
it
mean,
starts
you know, it's
smelling,
what it is.
probably ain't changed fluid.
We're, I mean, the wideband read 12.7 air fuel rating. It was not 12.7. It was probably like 3.0. And we played with it and we got it to spool perfect sitting right here.
Right.
It spooled 3 times right here, just like clockwork. It spooled okay into burnout, but then when we went to make the pass, it was like, nope.
Yeah.
It's like not happening. So
It was a bad apple.
Maybe
yeah,
something like that.
possibly. Is that bad apple?
I think so, was it? I seen green lights in the car.
Yeah, I didn't realize we were drawing up there. I'm glad
All
you
good,
did for
man.
me.
Yeah.
That's
I
why
told him I told him-
we've been hanging out. We're Facebook Live and with
I
Willie.
got you.
And yeah, that's why I just saw my text message. I was like, We're drawing now.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. All good.
That's
Guys, I'm gonna head out. We're
All
gonna
right,
get
man.
some rest.
We'll see you in the morning.
Yeah, see you
Yeah,
on the
way
morning.
far
Thank
behind
you.
you.
All right.
But yeah, it's crazy. We'll see you guys. Thanks. We'll see what happens tomorrow, man. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be interesting. It is what it is. Right?
You still have them shirts?
Is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if we got any.
You need to bring them back.
I don't know if we got any.
People like them.
Did we have these? What it is? I don't even remember. Kelly.
Yeah, it's the cartoony one where you stand in front of the car.
Oh yeah. That, Kelly's in charge of all the shirts and stuff. She is in charge of all the shirt stuff.
Where's my wife?
I have no idea. She's mad she left too. She said, I'm going to the hotel. Are y'all going home or y'all going to the hotel?
Oh, we camping.
Are y'all camping in the Durango?
Yeah. She's probably in there.
She might be asleep already. Well,
But-
this was fun, man.
Yeah. That's gonna wrap it up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This was good. Y'all go check out his stuff. If you're watching, go check it out. Go to his YouTube.
I would hope they're checking it out now.
Are they
They're
going
watching it.
Is this going live to YouTube also?
It's YouTube, Twitch.
Oh,
and
it's doing
Facebook.
all of it.
Yeah,
Nice.
all three at one time.
Awesome, dude. So go check out my YouTube also.
Yes, sir.
Turbo John Racing, and then Houston KOTV.
Is it Houston
yeah.
KOTV
Yep.
or is it just KOTV?
Houston
Okay.
KOTV.
I follow him.
Yep.
But his stuff doesn't pop up very often. So.
Yep. So he's a good dude too. His YouTube channel's going
Oh yeah,
good.
he's got some nice stuff. on
There's a
there.
bunch of YouTubers out here. You got the MAK guys, and now Nicky Bobby's got his
Yep.
channel. There's a bunch. I saw John Dock out here earlier.
Yep. LS Nasty.
Yep.
Pennywise Racing.
Yep.
A lot of guys.
I saw Dragger Die was out here
Yep,
live
yeah.
as well. Dude, there's
There's
a
everywhere.
I mean, there is a lot of footage.
Spooled Media.
Yeah, Corey. I mean, there is a ton. There's a ton of photographers. Over the next week, there will be a ton of footage
Oh yes.
that drops from this event. So this is awesome, man. All right, fun.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's get some rest.
Yes. Well, I got to edit video.
Well, I'm gonna go get some rest.
I got to edit.